Maya kept her eyes fixed on the spreadsheet, fingers moving quickly across the keyboard, but her ears were trained on every sound around her. The clack of heels in the hallway, the hum of the ventilation system, even the whisper-soft rustle of a cleaning crew passing on the floor below. Her senses were always sharp. Too sharp. It was a constant battle to dull them, to muffle the instincts that surged just beneath the surface of her skin. She wore her scent suppressor like armor, a thin, glimmering balm hidden beneath a thick layer of modest foundation and perfume. Her wardrobe was a uniform of bland, oversized cardigans, ankle-length skirts, and turtlenecks that covered the mark just under her collarbone. She never wore red, never wore silk, never laughed too loudly, or looked anyone too long in the eyes. It had worked for 3 years. No one suspected. No one noticed the way she flinched on full moon days, or the way her steps became silent as air when the lights dimmed. No one except Alexis Chen. The CEO's office sat at the highest point of the building, a glass and steel fortress that overlooked the skyline and every soul beneath her. Alexis was a woman of angles and ice, sharp cheekbones, tailored suits that whispered power, and eyes so dark they almost looked black. She never smiled. She never faltered. She walked through the firm like a storm contained in human skin. And Maya had been avoiding her for years. Not because of fear, though everyone feared Alexis, but because every time they crossed paths, something in Maya twisted. It wasn't just attraction. It was recognition. Like her wolf stirred, restless and confused, clawing towards something it couldn't name. That day had been long and brutal. Quarter-end reports, 3 back-to-back audits, and a client call that stretched well past office hours. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, the building was nearly empty. Maya had calculated every full moon for the next year, had blocked PTO around them with surgical precision, but this one had come early. Off-cycle. Unpredictable. Her hands were already trembling. Her bones ached. Her throat felt dry and raw, as if her body were preparing to shift. She slipped into the server room, small, cold, silent, and locked the door. She just needed to ride it out. An hour, maybe 2. Then she could go home, take the suppressant, and pretend like none of this happened. But she didn't know Alexis was still in the building. Alexis never left before midnight. She worked in silence, lights low, thoughts sharper at night. And when she walked past the hallway and caught the faintest whiff of something, wild, earthen, familiar in a way that made her breath catch, she stopped. Her wolf, dormant for years, stirred, then growled. She followed the scent like a trail, like a dare. And when she pressed her hand against the locked server room door, she heard something move inside. Not a human sound. A scraping. A groan. A low, guttural noise that made the hair on her neck rise. Maya? Alexis's voice was soft. Curious. Maya didn't answer. Couldn't. Her body was already shifting. Her knees cracked as they bent backwards. Her skin rippled. Her breath turned ragged. She'd waited too long. Maya, open the door. A command, this time. Alexis's hand gripped the handle. I know you're in there. Silence. Then a thud. The lock snapped. The door swung open. And Alexis saw everything. Fur. Fangs. Amber eyes. The transformation mid-process, brutal and beautiful. And at the center of it all, Maya, stripped of disguise, panting, snarling, eyes wide with terror. Not just fear of being exposed, but fear of her. Alexis didn't move. Didn't speak. Her heart thundered once, hard, and then her own scent flared to life, sharp, ancient, visceral. And her wolf whispered the one word she never thought she'd feel again, mate. Maya didn't sleep. Not that she could. Her body had barely finished the transformation when Alexis saw her, her wolf form raw and trembling in the sterile cold of the server room, crouched like a cornered animal. She remembered the look in Alexis's eyes. Not fear, not even shock, but recognition. That terrified her more than anything else. The shift had reversed slowly after Alexis backed out of the room and shut the door without a word. No screams. No security. No exposure. Just silence. Controlled. Calculated. Maya had changed back, hastily dressed in the emergency clothes she always kept nearby, and fled the building before dawn, heart pounding so hard it drowned out every instinct except one: survive. The next morning, she walked into the office like a ghost. Head down. Hair pulled tight. Scent suppressor reapplied twice. She avoided the reflective surfaces in the elevator, avoided every glance. Each step closer to her desk felt like a countdown. She was certain there'd be a termination letter waiting. Security guards. Maybe worse. Her kind had been hunted for less. But there was nothing. No memo. No meeting request. No sign that anything had changed. Except her. She could feel it. The shift in the air. The subtle change in how people moved around her, like some undercurrent pulsed just beneath the fabric of the day. And Alexis hadn't shown up yet. Until she did. The elevator chimed, and Alexis stepped out like a blade unsheathed. Hair sleek, lips crimson, heels clicking like gunfire. She didn't look at anyone, until her eyes found Maya. The contact lasted less than a second, but it struck like lightning. Maya's lungs collapsed. Alexis's gaze was unreadable, but there was heat behind it. And purpose. Maya dropped her stare instantly, pulse quickening. The CEO walked past her without a word, the scent of cold pine and winter smoke trailing behind her like a promise. Maya turned back to her screen and forced herself to breathe. She had almost convinced herself it was over, just an anomaly, something unspoken they'd both bury. Until an email notification blinked in the corner of her monitor. From Alexis Chen. Subject: my office.
Now.
Her blood turned to ice. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. She knew there was no option. She stood, legs stiff, heart hammering against her ribs, and walked the long corridor to the top floor. The receptionist nodded her through. The door was already open. Alexis stood behind her desk, sleeves rolled to her elbows, a glass of water untouched beside her. She didn't gesture for Maya to sit, just waited, watching. Maya stayed silent. Her throat was dry. Close the door, Alexis said softly. The click of the latch sounded final. Alexis's eyes narrowed slightly. Are you going to tell me what I saw last night, or should I start guessing? Maya flinched. Please, I can explain. It's not what you think. Isn't it? Alexis tilted her head. Because what I saw looked exactly like a she-wolf mid-transformation, which, last time I checked, was not in your employee file. Maya's voice cracked. You can't tell anyone. I haven't. Her answer came too quickly. Too easily. Maya blinked. Why? Alexis moved around the desk slowly, heels silent on the carpet. Because I know what it's like to hide. That stopped Maya cold. Alexis stood inches away now. You've been careful. Ridiculously so. And yet, you slipped. Just once. And fate gave me a front row seat. So what now? Maya whispered. Do you fire me? Expose me? Alexis looked at her for a long moment, something flickering in her eyes. No, Maya's breath caught. Alexis stepped even closer, and Maya could feel the pull in the space between them, something older than language. I don't want to destroy you, Maya. I want to understand you. Maya's gaze darted to the door. You don't understand what you're getting into. Don't I? Alexis leaned in just enough for her scent to flood Maya's senses. Controlled. Familiar. Too familiar. Maya's wolf stirred, ears up alert. She froze. Alexis's voice dropped an octave. Why do you think I recognized your scent? Maya stared.
No.
No, it wasn't possible. But the way Alexis was looking at her, the way her pupils dilated, the way her voice shifted, Maya felt the truth crackle between them like lightning on dry grass. Alexis wasn't human. And her wolf had felt it too. Maya's lips parted. What are you? Alexis smiled then. A real smile. Dangerous. Someone who's waited a long time to meet her mate. Maya hadn't moved. She couldn't. Her entire body was frozen in the soft velvet tension that bloomed between them, raw and electric and impossibly ancient.
Mate.
The word echoed through her ribcage like a drumbeat she couldn't silence. Her wolf whimpered beneath her skin, confused, ravenous, desperate to get closer. But Maya wasn't her wolf. She was human. Or, at least, she tried to be. That had always been the plan: normalcy, control, distance. Never this. Never someone like Alexis. "You're wrong," she whispered, but her voice lacked conviction. Alexis's smile was slow, deliberate, a predator savoring the scent of inevitability. "I'm not." She moved again, one step closer, and Maya could feel the heat radiating from her skin. Her scent, crisp air, pine needles, rain-damp soil, hit Maya like a drug, cracking open every wall she'd spent years building. Her heart galloped. Her wolf clawed inside her chest, not with fear, but with aching recognition. "You're not supposed to be." Maya took a step back, but her body betrayed her, trembling with the effort to stay upright. "You're human. You've always been human." "No," Alexis said softly, and there was something almost tender in the way her voice dropped. "I was alpha once, of a pack you've never heard of. Far north. I left them a long time ago. Buried that part of myself when I chose this life. This world." She gestured around the office, to the polished floors, the towering windows, the empire she had built with her own hands. "And yet, here you are," she added, her voice lower now, rougher. "You walk into my world smelling like fire and moonlight and expect me not to feel it?" Maya's breath came in sharp, broken pieces. "You felt it." Alexis's eyes darkened. "The moment you entered this building 3 years ago. I didn't know what it was, not at first. Just a scent. Different. Magnetic. I told myself it didn't matter. That you were just another analyst. But you weren't." Her voice tightened. "Every time I passed you, every time you avoided my eyes, my wolf wanted to break through my ribs and tear down every lie I told myself. And then last night." She let the silence finish the thought. Maya was shaking now, but not from fear. From everything else. Her skin felt too tight. Her control frayed with every heartbeat. "I can't be your mate," she said, but it was hollow. "That's not how this works. I didn't choose you." "No," Alexis said. "You didn't. But the bond chose us. You felt it too. I saw it." "Even if it's real," Maya snapped, grasping for logic, for reason, for safety. "You're my boss. This is insane." Alexis tilted her head, eyes flashing with something dangerous. "Is that why you're really scared? Because I'm your superior? Or because being near me makes you want to tear off that perfect little cardigan and let your wolf run?" Maya's face flushed so violently it burned. "Don't," she warned, but it came out breathless. Alexis stepped back then, but the distance didn't help. Her scent still clung to Maya's senses, thick and persistent. "I won't push you," she said, and it sounded almost like a vow. "I know what it means to fight it. I did for years. But you can't lie to your wolf forever." Maya stared at the floor, her throat tight with unshed panic. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing," Alexis said. "Everything." Maya laughed bitterly. "That's helpful." "I want to know you," Alexis said. "The real you. Not the version you show the office. Not the girl in cardigans and suppressors. I want the wolf. I want the truth. And if I don't give it to you," Alexis's eyes gleamed, "then I'll wait. Because I'm not going anywhere. And neither is this bond." Maya turned and left before she could think, heart pounding, vision blurring. She fled to the rooftop, the only place high enough, cold enough, silent enough to breathe. Her phone buzzed twice. Then again. A message. From Alexis. "You can run. I'll still feel you." Maya's legs buckled. She dropped to the gravel, gripping the edge of the rooftop like it could tether her to sanity. This couldn't be happening. She couldn't want this. Couldn't want her. But gods, she did. Not just want. Need. Her wolf howled inside her, soft and low, aching for touch, for scent, for closeness. For her mate. For Alexis. And Maya realized with a sick twist of fate that she didn't just fear Alexis, because she was powerful. She feared her because she was right, because a part of Maya had always known. Every time Alexis entered a room, her pulse skipped. Every time she heard her voice, her skin tingled. She'd buried it, repressed it, lied to herself. But instincts didn't lie. And now it was too late. She couldn't unsmell her, couldn't undo the imprint. She was claimed, and worse, part of her wanted to claim back. Love what you've seen so far and want to help me keep creating these awesome stories on this channel? Then subscribe and hit the bell. Your subscription supports the channel and makes sure you get more exciting stories. But what terrified her most wasn't Alexis. It was herself. Maya avoided the executive floor like it burned. She changed her schedule, volunteered for client meetings outside the office, started working from home on the flimsiest excuses she could create. Every time her inbox pinged, her heart twisted, expecting Alexis's name, her scent to linger behind the text. But Alexis didn't email her, didn't call. She didn't have to. Her presence was everywhere. The scent suppressor balm Maya had relied on for years began to fail her. She reapplied it 3 times a day now, layered perfume over it, but it didn't matter. Her skin burned, her wolf restless, like something inside her was waking up and clawing to the surface. And worst of all, she could feel Alexis, even when she wasn't near, like a tether that stretched between them. It tugged at her chest, her spine, her thoughts. At night, Maya dreamed of her. Not like before. Not vague flashes of admiration or vague attraction, but raw, vivid dreams. Skin on skin. Teeth grazing collarbones. Alexis's voice in her ear like a command. Mine. She'd wake up panting, drenched in sweat, her body on fire, and hate herself for it. Because she didn't want this. She didn't want to be anyone's mate. She wanted her life back. Her distance. Her control. But the universe didn't care what she wanted. Neither, apparently, did Alexis. On Thursday, Maya walked into the office for a quarterly strategy meeting she couldn't avoid. She took a deep breath before stepping into the boardroom, heart braced, nerves bristling, and there she was. Alexis. Seated at the head of the table, sharp as a blade in a slate-gray suit, dark hair pulled into a sleek twist, lips painted blood red. Maya faltered. Their eyes locked. Something passed between them, silent, slow, heavy like smoke. Maya forced herself to sit 3 seats away. Safe. Distant. But Alexis's gaze lingered. She didn't speak to Maya directly during the presentation, but her presence was like gravity. Maya could feel her with every breath. When the meeting ended, people filtered out slowly, murmuring about forecasts and merger strategy, until Maya was the last one gathering her things. She turned to leave, and found Alexis standing directly behind her. Too close. You're running out of places to hide, Alexis said, voice low, smooth, lethal. Maya stiffened. I'm not hiding. No. Alexis's smile was slow. Then why do you flinch every time I walk into a room? Because you make everything complicated, Maya snapped. Because you think you can just walk in, say the word mate, and I'm supposed to fall at your feet? I don't want you at my feet, Maya, Alexis murmured. I want you beside me. That landed deeper than Maya wanted it to. Her stomach flipped. Well, I don't want you. It was a lie. They both knew it. Alexis's eyes darkened. Then, why does your pulse spike every time I speak? She took a step forward. Why does your wolf respond to mine even when you're pretending not to look at me? Another step. Maya was backed against the table now, trapped between polished wood and silk-lined dominance. Why do I smell your arousal even now? Maya flushed violently. You're imagining things. No, Alexis whispered. You are. Her hand hovered near Maya's face, close enough to touch, but she didn't. Instead, she inhaled softly, and Maya felt like she might combust. You smell like you're dreaming of me, she said. Every night. Maya's knees wobbled. Stop. Tell me to stop like you mean it, Alexis said. Tell me without shaking. Maya bit her lip. Her body was betraying her. Her scent was rising. She couldn't suppress it anymore. Couldn't fake control when her wolf was scratching under her skin. howling for connection. This isn't fair, she breathed. Life rarely is. Alexis's voice softened, and for a moment, the intensity shifted. I know what you're afraid of, but I'm not your past. I'm not going to cage you. I just want to know you. The real you. Maya turned her head. She wanted to scream, to run, to surrender, all at once. Please, she whispered, not even knowing what she was begging for. Alexis stepped back, just enough to let her breathe. I'll wait, she said again, but this time there was a flicker of hunger in her voice. But not forever. Maya bolted from the room like her feet were on fire. She didn't stop until she reached the lobby, then the street, then the cold rush of air outside. Her chest rose and felt like she'd been chased. Because she had. Not by Alexis, but by the truth. By herself. She couldn't keep pretending. Her wolf wouldn't let her. And now neither would Alexis. That night, Maya paced her apartment like a caged animal. Her scent suppressors no longer worked. Her body ached. Her dreams were fevered, filled with Alexis's voice, her scent, her hands. The pull between them had grown unbearable. And still she resisted. Because giving in didn't just mean desire. It meant surrender. It meant claiming. And once that bond was complete, there would be no turning back. The scent hit her before dawn. It wasn't perfume. It wasn't city air or coffee or fabric softener. It was herself. Wild. Open. Unshielded. The first sign of heat. Maya shot up in bed, her sheets soaked, her skin burning. Her wolf paced under her flesh, restless, whining, needy in a way that made her feel sick with longing and furious with weakness. She staggered to the bathroom, hands shaking as she reached for the suppressant jar. Empty. She grabbed the backup in her drawer. Also empty. Her fingers trembled. This couldn't be happening. She timed everything, planned everything. Her heat cycles had been dormant for over a year. Suppressants, routine, avoidance, she'd been careful. So careful. But the bond had shifted something. Alexis had triggered it. Her presence, her scent, her nearness, it had unraveled the delicate balance Maya kept for years. Now the wolf wanted. Not just sex. Not just touch. It wanted her. Maya locked herself inside for 2 days. Canceled meetings. Turned off her phone. Showered 3 times a day to scrub off her scent, but it did nothing. The wolf raged in her. Hungry. Desperate. And all she could think of was Alexis. Her voice. Her mouth. Her scent like pine smoke in the cold. Her hands, God. Her hands. The things Maya wanted those hands to do. She didn't sleep. Couldn't. When she closed her eyes, she dreamed of being pinned beneath Alexis's body, of teeth on skin, of surrendering so completely it became terrifying. On the 3rd day, she ran out of excuses. She had to return to work. She stood outside the building, still burning, still half feral, scent half muted but unmistakably laced with heat. People glanced at her in the elevator. Not many humans could identify it, but some instinctively stepped back. Her presence was magnetic. Disruptive. When she walked into the office, everything was quieter than usual. Or maybe she just heard too much. Her senses were dialed to 10. And then Alexis stepped out of her glass office. Their eyes met. Maya's body lit up like fire in her veins. Alexis stopped mid-step. Her nostrils flared. Her wolf, usually buried so deep no one could sense it, snapped awake. Maya saw it in the flicker behind her dark eyes. Saw the way Alexis's jaw tightened. Felt the electric shift in the air. My office, Alexis said, voice deeper than usual. A command. Maya followed without speaking. The door closed behind them with a heavy click. Alexis didn't sit. She circled slowly, scenting the air. You're in heat. Maya looked away. It's not your concern. Like hell it isn't. Alexis's voice cracked, low and strained. You walk in smelling like that and expect me to pretend I don't feel it? I didn't have a choice. Neither do I. Alexis stopped in front of her. Close. Too close. You think I want this? You think I asked to feel your need like it's crawling under my skin? Then stay away, Maya hissed. Don't make this harder. Alexis laughed, a rough, bitter sound. It's already hard. Maya's breath caught. Alexis leaned in, and the air between them sparked. Do you have any idea what you smell like right now? She whispered. It's driving me insane. Maya's legs weakened. Her wolf howled inside her, needy, wild, clawing at the surface. Then don't smell me. I can't not smell you. Alexis's hand hovered near her cheek. You think I've slept in 3 nights? I feel your heat like a current in my blood. Every time you move, every breath you take, I feel it. Maya closed her eyes. Her whole body was pulsing. You said you'd wait. I am. Alexis's voice was low and shaky. But don't ask me to pretend it doesn't hurt. It's not time, Maya whispered. I'm not ready. Then I'll fight it, Alexis said, breathing hard. But you need to get out of here. You can't be near me like this. Not unless you want me to break every rule I've lived by. Maya's knees buckled. She backed away, hitting the wall behind her. I thought I had more time. The bond doesn't wait. Alexis's gaze was fierce. Leave now, before I change my mind. Maya ran. Her body throbbed, screaming for something it couldn't have. She barely made it to her apartment before collapsing. She curled on the bathroom floor, hands gripping her own skin, heart racing like prey. She didn't want this. She didn't. But her wolf did. And the bond was winning. The next day, Maya didn't show up to work. Alexis didn't call. But at sunset, there was a knock at Maya's door. Slow. Measured. Maya's body recognized the scent before her mind did. Alexis. Maya didn't move. The knock came again. A pause. Then, I brought suppressants. Maya opened the door an inch. Alexis stood there, unspeakably calm, controlled. But her scent was chaos. Their eyes met, and for a moment, neither spoke. Then Alexis said, You're not alone in this, Maya. You never were. Maya's throat closed. She took the box from her and whispered, Why are you helping me? Because I want you to choose me, Alexis said. Not because you need to, but because you want to. And then she left. Just like that. Maya stood at the door, holding the suppressant box, shaking. Her body still wanted. Her wolf still howled. But her heart was confused. Because in that moment, something shifted. She wasn't just afraid of Alexis anymore. She was afraid of how much she needed her. Maya returned to the office wearing black. A sharp blouse, fitted slacks, her hair pulled into a tight bun that screamed control. Her scent was neutralized, barely detectable, her posture perfect. No more trembling hands. No flushed skin. No erratic breathing. On the outside, she was composed. Untouchable. Inside, she was still fire. But it was a quiet burn now, smoldering low and constant. The suppressants dulled the heat, but didn't kill it. Couldn't. The bond was still there, pulsing beneath her ribs like a second heartbeat. She could feel Alexis in the building, could feel her eyes without even turning. And when their gazes met by the espresso machine that morning, Maya didn't flinch. She held it. Steady. Controlled. But not cold. Alexis's lips curled into the faintest smile before she turned away. That was the new game. No more chasing. No more provocations. Alexis didn't corner her anymore, didn't flood her with scent or press her against desks. Instead, she watched. She waited. She lingered at a distance, patient and precise. She offered Maya something far more dangerous than physical temptation: space. Space to think. Space to feel. Space to choose. And that's when it started happening. Small things. Subtle things. A coffee left on her desk, black, 2 sugars, exactly how Maya took it. A presentation Alexis happened to praise in front of the partners. A post-it with a quote from some obscure novel Maya once mentioned in the elevator months ago. None of it was overt. None of it could be traced. But Maya felt it. Felt the shift. Felt herself softening. She hated it. Loved it. Feared it. One night, After everyone left, she found herself still in the office, staring at the city lights with her shoes off and her scent barrier faded from hours of disuse. The air was cool, quiet. Alexis hadn't spoken to her all day, but Maya knew she was still there. She felt the magnetic pull, the awareness that prickled along her skin. And then, almost as if summoned by thought, the elevator dinged. Maya didn't turn around. She didn't need to. Alexis's presence filled the room like smoke. Silent. Warm. Maya stared at her own reflection in the glass. "You're still here," she said softly. "So are you." Alexis's voice was lower than usual. Gentle. They didn't speak for a long moment. The silence felt alive. Maya finally turned. "Why did you stop?" Alexis blinked. "Stop what?" "Chasing me. Pushing." Alexis's gaze didn't waver. "Because I meant what I said. I don't want you to come to me out of instinct. Or fear. I want your yes." Maya swallowed. "And if I never say it?" Alexis's mouth twitched with something unreadable. "Then I'll still want you. Just quietly." Maya's chest ached. No one had ever said that to her before. "Want me. Quietly. No demands. No manipulation. Just want." She stepped closer. Barely. The air between them vibrated. "You're not who I thought you were," she said. "Neither are you." Maya looked up at her then. Really looked. Past the tailored suits and sharp edges. She saw the woman who'd left her pack behind. Who buried her nature to survive in a world that didn't want wolves. Who carried loneliness like a second skin and still showed up with suppressants instead of demands. "I dreamed about you," Maya admitted. Her voice shook. "During the heat. Every night. I hated it. I hated that I wanted you so badly I couldn't breathe." Alexis didn't move. "And now, Maya took a breath. "I still want you." The truth hung in the air, sharp as a blade. Alexis stepped forward slowly, as if walking on ice. "Then come here." Maya's pulse roared. Her wolf stirred. She closed the gap between them in one breath. Alexis didn't touch her. Just stood there, eyes burning, waiting. Maya lifted her hand, let it hover above Alexis's chest, then pressed her palm flat against the place where Alexis's heart thundered. Alexis closed her eyes. Her sense surged, unfiltered for the first time. It hit Maya like thunder. Her knees almost gave out. "Don't stop me," Maya whispered. "Not this time." Alexis opened her eyes slowly. "I won't." Maya leaned in. Their mouths were a breath apart. Then noise. A phone buzzed. The spell broke. Maya stepped back, heart thudding like a war drum. Alexis didn't chase her. She just let her go. Again. But that night, Maya couldn't stop shaking. Because she'd felt it. The shift. The choice blooming inside her like wildfire. And it terrified her more than the bond ever did. The moon rose full and sharp, casting silver light across Maya's apartment floor. She felt it in her spine before she saw it, an ache that started in her bones and spread like wildfire under her skin. The shift wouldn't come fully, not tonight. Not with the suppressants still holding on at the edge of her system. But her wolf was restless, prowling inside her chest, agitated by something deeper than the lunar pull. The bond. Alexis. Every cell in Maya's body hummed with tension, desire curled tight and hot behind her ribs. She stood by the window, one hand pressed against the glass, the other fisted at her side. She hadn't seen Alexis since that almost kiss 3 days ago. Hadn't spoken. But it didn't matter. She felt her. Felt her the way a flame feels oxygen, constantly aware, constantly hungry. When the knock came, she already knew. Alexis didn't wait. She never did. Maya opened the door, and there she stood. All dark wool coat, midnight eyes, and tightly leashed power. Her scent hit Maya like a thunderclap, earth and rain and something smoky underneath, sharp enough to steal her breath. "I shouldn't have come," Alexis said, but made no move to leave. Maya's voice was low. "Why did you?" "Because I could not." A pause. "Because I knew you'd be feeling it too." Maya stepped aside without a word. Alexis entered slowly, removing her coat, her movements too graceful, too careful, like she was trying not to spook a wild thing. Maya leaned against the wall, arms crossed, trying to look unaffected. Failing. So, she said, what now? Alexis's eyes held her. That depends on you. Silence settled between them, heavy, magnetic. Maya's heart slammed against her chest. She didn't know how to name this feeling. Need and fear and surrender all braided into one. Do you want to touch me? She asked, voice barely a whisper. God, yes. Alexis breathed, eyes burning. But not if you're still afraid of what it means. I'm tired of being afraid. Maya stepped forward. I'm tired of running. Alexis didn't move. Are you saying yes? Maya reached up slowly, placed her hand at the base of Alexis's throat where her pulse thundered. I'm saying I need you. That was all it took. Alexis surged forward, not with force, but with precision. Her hands cupped Maya's face, her lips capturing hers in a kiss that burned like lightning and soothed like rain. It wasn't soft. It wasn't polite. It was 3 years of tension, of denial, of craving. It was wild. Alexis kissed like she led boardrooms, fierce, focused, in control. But Maya didn't submit. She met her, lips parting, hands curling into fabric, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces too long separated. Heat roared through her veins. Her wolf growled in delight. They broke apart only when breath failed them. Maya's voice was hoarse. Don't stop. Alexis's hands moved to Maya's waist, thumbs brushing bare skin where her blouse had lifted. Tell me what you want. You, Maya gasped. All of you. Clothes came off in fragments, slow at first, then desperate. Skin met skin. Heat met heat. They moved together like the bond had always been there, waiting to be awakened. Every touch was a question. Every moan an answer. Alexis kissed her like she was memorizing her. Maya touched her like she dreamed it 1,000 times. And when Alexis finally sank into her, hands, mouth, hips, Maya cried out with a sound that was not human. Her wolf tore free beneath her skin, not in a full shift, but in presence. In power. She arched, clawed, bit. And Alexis met her there, not afraid, not resisting, welcoming the wild in her. After, they lay tangled in breath and sweat and silence. Alexis's hand rested on Maya's stomach, lazy and warm. Maya stared at the ceiling, chest still rising and falling too fast. That didn't fix anything, she whispered. No, Alexis said softly. But it started something. Maya turned her head. Their eyes met. Something unspoken passed between them. Not just desire now. Not just instinct. Something deeper. Something dangerous. Something real. What happens next? Maya asked. Alexis leaned in and kissed her shoulder. Whatever you're ready for. But Maya wasn't sure she'd ever be ready. Because now that she'd touched Alexis, claimed her, been claimed in return, there was no more pretending. This was no longer just attraction. This was fate. And fate didn't care about rules, hierarchies, or fears. Fate only wanted to be fulfilled. And Maya had just given it a taste. Maya couldn't sleep. Not after that night. Not after the way Alexis had kissed her, touched her, whispered her name like a vow. Her body still buzzed with the phantom echoes of Alexis's hands, the heat of her mouth, the low, guttural sound she made when Maya gasped beneath her. But it wasn't the memory of touch that kept her awake. It was the ache that came after. Because something had shifted. Not just in her skin, but in her mind, in her chest. The bond between them had deepened. She could feel Alexis even now, where she was in the city, her mood, her heartbeat like a drum in Maya's own blood. And Alexis felt it too. There was no going back now. No more pretending. No more distance. They were linked, whether they wanted it or not. But desire was easy. Trust wasn't. Especially not when Maya opened her laptop that morning and saw a name she hadn't heard in years. Yara Volkov, the daughter of a rival pack leader, the one responsible for the fire that had nearly wiped out Maya's small childhood territory. And right beneath that name, In an archived report from 7 years ago, sat another one. Alexis Chun. Former Beta. Volkov Pack. Maya's blood turned to ice. The world tilted. She clicked again. Read faster.
Dates.
Locations. Alliances. The Volkovs had merged with another group, the Silverfangs, Maya's enemies. And Alexis had been there. Not just present. Leading operations. Organizing takeovers. Overseeing land grabs. The kind of strategic brutality that had forced Maya's pack to scatter, to hide in human cities, to disappear. The same woman who had whispered mine against her skin had once worn the mark of her family's destroyers. Maya's chest hollowed. She slammed the laptop shut and stood up too fast, the heat rising in her throat not from passion, but from fury. She barely remembered getting dressed. The train ride to the office was a blur of heartbeat and betrayal. When she stepped onto the executive floor, people parted instinctively. Her scent was sharp. Not just wolf.
Alpha.
Alexis was at her desk, reading something on her tablet, calm as ever. She didn't even look up.
You're early, she said.
You lied to me. Maya's voice was a blade. Alexis froze. Slowly raised her eyes.
What?
Volkov. Maya threw a printed page onto the desk. You were one of them. Silence. Then, with unbearable calm, I was. You were Beta. You led the pack that destroyed mine. Alexis didn't deny it. I did. Maya's voice broke. And you didn't think that was worth mentioning? Alexis stood. I didn't know which pack you came from. That's bullshit, Maya snapped. You knew. You smelled it on me the day we met. Wolves always recognize rival blood. Alexis's jaw tightened. I suspected. I didn't know. And I was afraid that if I told you, you'd leave before I could explain. So, you let me fall for you? Maya's eyes shimmered with hurt now, rage curling into sorrow. Let me believe you were the one safe place in my life. That the bond meant something. Alexis stepped around the desk.
Slowly.
It does mean something. Does it? Maya backed away. Or, is that just another strategy? Another manipulation? You've always been good at those. Stop. Alexis's voice cracked. I left that pack. I left them. You don't get to rewrite history just because you feel guilty. No, Alexis said, softer now. But I get to fight for my future. And that means fighting for you. Maya's hands curled into fists. You took everything from me. Not me.
Them.
I was raised into that world, Maya. I didn't know what I was doing at first. I thought it was power, legacy. But when I realized what we were destroying, I left. I left everything. You built a company instead, Maya said bitterly. A fortress of glass and rules. And you hid your wolf like she was something to be ashamed of. Because I was ashamed, Alexis whispered. But you, she stepped closer. You woke her up. You made me remember what it meant to feel. No, Maya said, trembling. Don't say that. Don't use me to fix your guilt. I'm not using you, Alexis said, voice breaking. I love you. Maya froze. The room went still. Alexis blinked, as if shocked by her own words. I didn't mean to say that, she whispered. But it's true. Maya stared at her. For the first time, Alexis looked vulnerable. Not powerful. Not composed. Just open. Breakable. And it undid something in Maya. You can't fix this with love, she said.
No.
But maybe I can prove it with actions. Alexis's eyes were fierce again. Give me a chance to earn back your trust. Maya didn't answer. She turned and walked out, her scent a storm behind her. She didn't look back. But later that night, when she curled up in her apartment with every window closed and every light off, she still felt Alexis's heartbeat through the bond. Still heard her voice whispering, I love you, like a curse and a promise. And it was that whisper that kept her awake until morning point 3 days past. 3 days of silence, of distance, of pain that curled around Maya like frost under her skin. She didn't return to work. She couldn't. Every time she tried to breathe normally, the bond twisted in her chest, a dull throb that wouldn't let her rest. The farther she stayed from Alexis, the worse it got. Her wolf whimpered in the dark, not just from longing, but from the fracture between them. Deep, unnatural, and bleeding. Bonded wolves were never meant to be separated like this, not after touch, not after claiming. But Maya didn't care.
Or she tried not to.
She'd trusted Alexis. She'd let her in, let her touch her, see her, mark her without ever saying the words. She had felt safe in her arms. And all that time, Alexis had hidden the one truth that could break her. Maya had spent her whole life running from that fire, her family scattered, her home erased from every map. And Alexis had been there. Maybe not the one who burned it down herself, but part of the system that let it happen. That gave the order. That stood by. How could she forgive that? How could she still feel her own body ache with the need to be near her? But then the ache began to turn into something else. Something worse. Her wolf began to weaken. Her muscles felt heavy. Her vision blurred when she pushed herself too hard. And it wasn't just emotional. It was biological. The bond was rejecting the rupture. Wolves weren't built to sever mating connections after intimacy had solidified them. Especially not when feelings, real ones, had already rooted. Maya tried to fight it. Meditation. Isolation. Suppressants. Nothing worked. The pain grew sharper. Lonelier. Until she could barely stand upright without feeling like her body was tearing itself apart. She curled on the floor of her apartment, her nails digging into the wood as her wolf whined beneath her skin. "You're killing us," it whispered. "You're punishing us both."
She cried.
Not the silent, noble kind. The real kind. The kind that sounded like a wounded animal. And still, she couldn't go back.
Not yet.
Not until she knew that Alexis meant it. That love wasn't just a word thrown in desperation. That redemption was more than a speech behind glass walls. On the fourth day, Maya woke up to a different kind of pain. One not from within her, but from the bond. From Alexis. She felt it instantly. A spike of distress. Panic. Danger. She bolted upright, dizzy from the sudden surge of adrenaline. The bond was still alive, fraying at the edges, but alive, and now screaming at her. Something was wrong. Her phone buzzed before she could move. One message. From an unknown number. She went to them. Maya's heart stopped. She read it again. And again. She didn't need a name. She knew who them meant. The Volkovs. The same pack Alexis had walked away from. The same wolves who had claimed cities and destroyed lives. Alexis had gone back. Alone. She was trying to make it right.
No.
No, no, no. Maya was on her feet in seconds, dressing, grabbing keys, phone, nothing else. She didn't even think. She shifted. Right there in her apartment for the first time in years. The wolf tore through her skin with fury and fear, paws slamming against the tile, claws scraping the walls as she bolted through the open balcony door and into the night. She ran.
Fast. Hard.
Her body blurred through alleys and rooftops, leaping fences and dodging traffic. All instinct. All scent. The pull of the bond grew, stronger the closer she got. And then she saw it. An old industrial warehouse on the edge of the city. Abandoned for years. Or so she thought. Maya shifted back, naked and raw, her body trembling as she crept to the edge of the loading dock. Voices. Growls. Tension. She peeked around the wall and saw her. Alexis, surrounded by 3 wolves in human form, bruised and bleeding, but standing tall. "I'm not here to beg," Alexis was saying, her voice iron even as blood dripped from her temple. "I'm here to end this. I want my name off your records. I want a clean severance from your alliances. No more access. No more history." One of the men laughed. "You think you can just walk away again?" "I did it once," Alexis said. "Now I'm burning the bridge." "And why now?" another asked, circling her. "What made you remember you had a conscience?" Alexis didn't answer. But Maya saw it, felt it, when Alexis's gaze flicked toward the shadows, toward her. The bond sparked. Alexis knew she was there. She had led her here. "I'm doing this for her," Alexis said finally. The woman I love. The one whose life you helped destroy. I'm not letting your stain touch her future. Too late for that. The third wolf growled, lunging forward. But Maya moved faster. She slammed into him mid-shift, her own body half transformed in an instant. Claws, teeth, eyes glowing gold. The fight was brief. Brutal. Maya was smaller, but fueled by fury. She took one down while Alexis handled the second. The third fled. When it was over, Maya turned, covered in dirt and blood, chest heaving. Alexis stared at her like she was a miracle and a storm. You shouldn't be here, she breathed. Neither should you, Maya snapped. What the hell were you thinking? That I had to make it right. Alexis stepped closer, wincing. That I couldn't let you walk away thinking I was still that woman. You nearly died. You were already killing me. The words hung between them. Bleeding. Truthful. Maya stepped closer. Her fingers brushed Alexis's blood-streaked jaw. I hate that I still love you. Alexis's eyes closed. Do you? Yes, Maya whispered. I hate it.
And I need it.
And I can't breathe without it. Alexis leaned into her touch. Then stay. I don't know how to forgive you. Then let me earn it, Alexis said. Every day. For the rest of my life. If that's what it takes. Maya didn't answer with words. She kissed her. Not desperate. Not angry. Just real. Her arms wrapped around Alexis like a shield, her body trembling as the bond surged back to full strength, clean, sharp, and whole. She hadn't forgiven everything, but she had chosen. And that was the beginning. The wound on Alexis's shoulder healed slower than expected. Not because it was deep, though it was, but because she refused to rest. She moved through the office with her usual precision, her arm wrapped, her movements calculated. But Maya saw the stiffness, the grimace she tried to hide when she reached too far. And most of all, the way she looked at Maya now, less like a woman trying to resist, and more like one who had already surrendered to something bigger than herself. Maya hadn't left her side since that night. Not officially, at least. She didn't move back into her apartment. She just stopped going back to it. Her toothbrush lived in Alexis's bathroom. Her clothes slowly migrated into drawers. Her scent was everywhere now, in the blankets, the coffee cups, the pillows, and Alexis didn't just allow it. She breathed it in like air. And Maya felt it too. The bond, whole and rooted, humming softly beneath her skin. The ache of separation was gone. But something else had taken its place. A question.
A choice.
Because even now, after blood and betrayal and touch, Maya hadn't said the words. Not out loud. She hadn't called Alexis her mate. She hadn't completed the bond the way wolves did. Not with a mark, not with a ceremony of it. She had given her body, her loyalty, her affection. But not her submission. Not her truth. And Alexis never asked. Never pushed. She just looked at her sometimes, in those rare soft hours before dawn, when their bodies were still tangled and their hearts beat in sync, and Maya saw it in her eyes. The waiting. The silent prayer. Not for control. For confirmation. But Maya was afraid. Because completing the bond meant no return. No more separation. It meant giving up the illusion of being human. It meant choosing to be a wolf again, openly.
Publicly. Permanently.
And that part of herself had been buried for so long. Too long. Until the firm announced the expansion. It came in the form of a sleek email with clean headers and corporate language. New regional office launch, Vancouver. Alexis called a meeting with the senior analysts, explaining that they would be choosing one of them to lead the satellite team. Maya sat in the back, quiet, unreadable. The moment the meeting ended, she walked straight into Alexis's office and shut the door behind her. You were going to send me away. Alexis looked up from her screen, composed.
No.
I was giving you a choice. A choice to leave you? Maya's voice was sharp. A choice to run again? No, Alexis said gently. A chance to lead. To be more than someone hiding behind spreadsheets and cardigans. To remember who you are. Maya stared at her. Something old and furious stirred in her chest. I know who I am. Alexis stood, walked to her. Her scent was calm, grounded. Then prove it. Maya narrowed her eyes. You want me to take the job? I want you to stop shrinking yourself. Alexis's gaze softened. You are not small. You're not meant to be silent. You are a wolf, Maya. And not just any wolf. You're an alpha. Even if you never claim it formally. I feel it in you. Every time you speak. Every time you push back. Every time you make me feel like I'm not the only force in the room. Maya's chest tightened. You should hate me for that. I crave you for it, Alexis whispered. Do you know how long I've waited to find someone who could stand beside me and not behind me? Maya couldn't breathe. The words scraped against her fear, against her longing. And if I stayed, if I didn't take the job, then I would build the world around you instead, Alexis said. Because I'll follow you anywhere, even if I never deserve to. Maya stepped back. Her pulse roared.
She couldn't think.
Couldn't feel without shaking. I need air, she whispered. She left without waiting for a reply. The elevator, the street, the wind, they passed in blurs. Her skin buzzed. Her wolf screamed. She ended up in the woods outside the city, barefoot, sweating, heart pounding against the cage of her ribs. And finally, she let go. The shift hit her like lightning. Bones snapping. Skin stretching. Her breath exploded in steam as the wolf burst free. Maya's paws dug into the dirt. She ran. Not away, but through. Through the dark. Through the ache. Through everything she had buried. She howled.
Loud. Raw.
And the forest echoed back. For the first time in years, she felt whole. Not human. Not hiding. Just herself. Fully. Wildly. Maya. When she returned, it was sunrise. Her skin glowed with the remnants of the shift. She walked barefoot into Alexis's apartment, wearing nothing but a long coat and the scent of the woods. Alexis was on the couch, asleep in a slouched position, her phone still in her hand, her body tense even in rest. Maya sat beside her and brushed her hair gently behind her ear. Alexis stirred, eyes fluttering open. Maya. Her voice cracked. You came back. I never really left, Maya whispered. Not where it mattered. Alexis sat up slowly, blinking. Are you okay? Maya nodded. Better than okay. A long silence passed. Alexis stared at her. What changed? Maya exhaled. I'm done being afraid. I'm done pretending to be someone smaller, so I don't scare anyone. I'm not afraid of who I am anymore. Her voice dropped. And I'm not afraid of you. Alexis's throat bobbed. What does that mean? Maya leaned in, kissed her, slow, deep, certain. Then she pulled back and whispered against her lips. It means I'm ready. Alexis froze. Ready for what? Maya smiled. For the bond. For us. And then she shifted. Just slightly, her eyes glowing gold, her canines lengthening. A mark bloomed across her collarbone, ancient and brilliant, the sign of an alpha accepting a mate. Alexis gasped. Tears welled in her eyes, not from weakness, but from the weight of it. Of being chosen. Maya pressed her forehead to Alexis's. You're mine, she said. Not because the bond said so, but because I do. Alexis laughed, broke, clung to her like a lifeline. And when she shifted too, when their wolves met and curled together on the rug, the bond pulsed once, pure, golden, final.
Complete.
The next week, the Vancouver offer was declined. Maya took a new role instead, executive director.
Partner.
And unofficially, alpha de firma. She walked through the halls no longer hidden, her scent unmasked, her presence commanding. Employees still feared Alexis, but they respected Maya. And together, they were unstoppable. At night, Alexis still whispered I love you against her shoulder. Maya would smile, kiss her jaw, and whisper back I know. And sometimes, when the moon was full and the city was asleep, two wolves would run together through the trees outside the skyline, free, fierce, and finally home. Thank you so much for being here and for believing in this channel. If you feel in your heart, you can donate with super thanks so I can focus more and more on this project. Your support helps me keep creating these love stories and bringing them to life for you. See you in the next video.